What is going on, everybody? Chrissy the Slasher Dude back with another video today. Just a little quick thing. The Rad Pack, the challenge that they have going on. The top 9 rad movies that scared me. And yeah, I'm 44 years old, 44-year-old nerdy slasher dude here. If you could like and subscribe anyway. Here's a couple honorable mentions and the 9 top or the 9 rad films that scared me. So first 2 honorable mentions here. Suspiria, to me the greatest Italian horror ever made. Just the opening to this is terrifying, and I watched this at the tender old age of like 43 or something like that. So last year sometime and stuff like that, had to pick up this 4K that Synapse released. Great transfer, all this other stuff. Yeah, that's Suspiria. Second and last honorable mention here, of course, you can't mention anything without mentioning Jaws. Of course, the opening scene with the woman, I mean, come on. It's like, come on now. Sorry, a little dark and dreary here. We're officially in spooky season, so I got the shadow here on the side. But yeah, Jaws is an honorable mention. I have this. This is, of course, the Steelbook Anniversary Steelbook 4K edition like that. Have this in the nice, sexy slip with the slip. There you go. Anyway, let's start. Cujo. Yeah, Killer Dog. This is better than the book. I do have the book. Stephen King has said this is, I think, his favorite film adaptation to his book and stuff like that. Cujo, Killer Dog, Saint Bernard. That's most lovable dog in the world, the nicest dog in the world, a farm dog, rescues people. You know, you give the dog rabies, it becomes an unstoppable killing machine, almost possessed. This terrified me. I saw this when I was younger. Terrified me the hell. Kino just released this 4K version of that. I had a DVD of it somewhere, but it's a great upgrade. But yeah, that's Cujo. Still terrifies me to this day. This is top 5 horror easily for me too as well. It's Cujo. And next, of course, we got John Carpenter's The Thing. It could be this or Christine. Those are kind of my 2 favorite John Carpenter films and stuff like that. But yeah, The Thing, and this is a remake of the 1950s Thing film. This is a newer version done by John Carpenter. The score is great. Kurt Russell, just an all-star cast of people. This is dreadful. It's terrifying, specifically the scene with the dogs. You all know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's The Thing. Just, like practical effects are just like scares the bejesus out of me. Even to this day, the score, everything. Dark, dreary, in the snow, in this outpost, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by mountains. I mean, it's cohabitation horror. You can't get better than this. That's The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. And then, of course, we're going to the big boys here. So a couple slashers here, if you consider that. The OG Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, Freddy Krueger coming for the very first time. This was the last of the great slasher craze of the early 80s. After this, it got kind of mediocre after that. But yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, the opening kind of sequence with Tina having the bad dream. You see her get lifted up off the bed, then bad shit happens to her in front of her boyfriend. All this shit just terrifies me to this day. It's really trippy, really freaky. Of course, the scene with Johnny Depp, a very young Johnny Depp, we all know what's up with that, you know? Yeah, that's a Nightmare on Elm Street. And then, of course, the OG Child's Play. Yeah, I love this film. Killer doll, but it's not what you think it is. Specifically, it's a story, really, of a single mom trying to raise her child. Serial killer, before he dies, takes over this, finds a conduit to transfer his soul to, and it's this right here, voodoo magic, hoodoo magic, whatever you want to call it. One of Brad Dourif's greatest roles he's ever played is as the voice of Chucky. Charles Lee Ray. It's one of the greatest scenes ever to me, where he just goes, I'm going to get you and I'm going to get Eddie no matter what. Great stuff. You don't see him a lot at the start, but really awesome. Still terrifying to this day. Very emotional to me. It's really good. There's some kind of heartbreaking scenes in this film too, but yeah, this is a great film. That is Child's Play, the OG Child's Play. And then the last of the slashers that are going to be shown here in my top rad 9. Of course, the OG Friday the 13th. Yeah, you mix Psycho in with a summer camp. And this is the OG kind of summer camp type of a thing. It's my all-time favorite slasher. It's my number 1. This movie's a masterpiece. If I could, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. The late, great Betsy Palmer, of course, we all know. Yeah, you know the synopsis. Everything's been said about this film. First time watching this when I was younger. I was in my early 20s. My mom was out doing stuff with her friends. She unlocks the door. I saw this for the first time on HBO back in the day, and I just hopped out of the couch, man. It scared the fuck out of me. So, yeah, that's Friday the 13th, the OG one. And then this bad boy, Pet Cemetery. Yeah. Sometimes Dead is Better. This is the anniversary edition when they released it on Blu-ray. Of course, love this sexy slip right here. Yeah, sorry, about that because of the lighting and stuff like that in the room. But yeah, based off the book by Stephen King, Sometimes Dead is Better. The scene basically where the little boy dies and the father is holding him, and you see the life of him and the child flash before his eyes. It's terrifying. It's sad. It's a dread type of a film. I mean, it's terrifying. Great film. That's Pet Sematary. Lots been said about this. Then a film my mom mentioned one time. I'm like going, oh yeah, I have to check it out because she couldn't finish it. So a lot of the stuff I get from the slasher mom, love you mom. You're God's gift. And just love her for mentioning this. And that's Clive Barker's Hellraiser, his masterpiece of a film based off the novel that he did called The Hellbound Heart. The interesting interview with Doug Bradley, who plays this dude Pinhead, real quick for that and stuff like that. I think it was Eli Roth's thing on horror that he did and stuff like that, talking to him. And, he says he sees Clive walking in, and he says, who's in charge in here? Who's in charge with this picture? Bradley looks at him and goes, you are. And the rest is history. It's this one in Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. They're technically the same film, but this one, specifically for what my mom mentioned, she couldn't get through it because there's some stuff that happens in the attic of this house. Basically, this couple moves into this house that this piece of shit person, Uncle Frank, Frank Cotton, gets this box, says, it's an iconic line from the person who gives it to him, says, take it, Mr. Cotton, it's yours. It always was. And then, yeah, it's dreadful. I'm a God-fearing Catholic man. This lot of horror in this, a lot of blood in this, a lot of gore in this. It's very good. It's a cohabitation type of a horror, too. It takes place in this house for the most part. Very good. That's Clive Barker's Hellraiser. And, of course, William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin, the late great William Friedkin. This is a Blu-ray release and stuff like that. Walmart had these alternate slips that they started releasing on that, and so yeah, I just bought this just for the slip because I have the same version of it that's in here. So I mean, and yeah, it's just cool to have this. And yeah, what can you say? It's an Exorcist movie. Talks of the devil, of Catholicism, of just everything. It's just really good. It's an emotional roller coaster of a film. It's scary as hell, even to this day, the whole atmosphere of the film. Just come into one scene when Damien Karras's mother, who he's taken care of, dies. The brother, his uncle, tells him, that she ended up in this, had to put him in a mental institution or whatever like that because you can't take care of her. It's a lot of stuff happening. She dies. He has this dream with her calling out his name and all this stuff. It's very haunting. It's very sad. Yeah, what else has been said that hasn't been said? I mean, it's all been said about this awesome film. That's The Exorcist, the OG Exorcist. And last but not least, one of the most scariest all-time horror films I've ever seen. I love it to death. It's still, I've quadruple dipped on this release. Of course, got this with the sexy slip. Got to get with the slip. If not, it's not worth it, son. Yeah, Event Horizon. Yeah, this movie's terrifying. Maybe not as much to people as now. I'm still afraid to watch it. It's terrifying to me. Just Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, my God. Probably the best role I've ever seen him in a horror film, to tell you the truth. Great actor. Both these are great actors. All-star kind of cast of people. It's basically Sam Neill created this ship called the Event Horizon. It disappeared. There's an expedition going into space, and they find the ship. But no crew is on there. Then it gets more Hellraiser-like. Then it gets really terrifying. Then it gets very, very interesting to me. There's some scenes in here that shock me. I know it can't really happen, but Lawrence Fishburne tells a story to one of his crewmates in here about what happened to another crewmate of his. He's, basically said, "Have you ever seen fire in space? It's beautiful. It's so liquefied and all this other stuff. It's a terrifying story the way he tells it." Yeah, they're not dead. Iconic lines like, hell is just a metaphor. Reality is much, much worse. And that is Event Horizon. And that is my top rad 9 films that scared the bejesus out of me. Anyway, I'm Chris C., the Slasher Dude. If you could, slash the like, Sleeping Bagger, Giallo Kill Stab, the subscribe. I will see you all next time. You all have a great rest of this spooky week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.